Let's talk Tanya for the 12th of Sivan. Yesterday's Tanya, we concluded with a question, which is, if the truth and the reality is that we are nothing but extensions of God and His creative powers, and we are subsumed within our source because God is everywhere, how and why is it that we feel ourselves as independent entities? We feel ourselves that we exist on our own. Where does that come from? So to answer this question, in today's Tanya, the Alter Rebbe introduces us to the concept of God's names. We know God has many names. We know from the Torah, we know from the davening, God has many different names. The reason why God has many names is because God is essentially nameless, because a name is some sort of definition or description, and obviously that's something which cannot apply to God. But because God essentially doesn't have a name, so instead what we do is we give names to God's various expressions, manifestations, or behaviors. When God manifests or behaves in a certain way, He is given one name. When He manifests or behaves in another way, He's given another name. The two most common names of God are what we call Havayeh. Havayeh is the way in Chassidus we talk about the name, which is the Yud K Vav K, known in English as the Tetragrammaton. That is the name that we don't pronounce. And then there's Elokim. What do these two names represent? So the name Havayeh represents God's creative energies. And that's why if you look at the word or the name, it's Yud and a Hey and a Vav and a Hey. The last three letters, the Hey Vav Hey, reads as Hove, which means to be or to exist. The Yud at the beginning implies this is what causes existence in a constant way. A Yud in the beginning of a word, a Yud is a prefix to a word, implies something which happens constantly. So Yud, and then the Hey Vav Hey means that God is constantly pushing all of creation into existence. That is the name of Havayeh. What is the name of Elokim? The name of Elokim represents concealment and contraction, and it is the job of the name of Elokim, or the divine energy which is represented by that name, to conceal and to contract the light of the name of Havayeh, and the result is that we exist and we are actually nothing but extensions of God. However, we don't sense it, and that is a result of the impact or the influence of the name of Elokim. That is a very basic response, and we'll continue on this and go even deeper into this concept in tomorrow's Tanya.